Love's going to get a run out. He hammers it down.
It's live action out there.
We're back. Time for another edition of the Carolina Insider Rapid Reactions Edition, presented by Modelo. I'm Jones Angell. That's Adam Lucas. And Adam, early start time. But the Tar Heels were not sleepy at all as they, from the very beginning, jumped out on top of Notre Dame and win it by 17, 81-64. Carolina led by 13 at halftime. It was double digits for most of the second half, save one moment where the Irish cut it down to 7. But from start to finish this morning and then afternoon, felt like Carolina played pretty well today.
Seemed like they did a little bit of everything that they needed to do. They fed the ball to Armando Bacot, who had another double-double, another 20-10 game, 21 points and 13 rebounds in this one. They defended well. Notre Dame's whole thing is that they're going to shoot three-pointers, so you have to figure out a way to contest them around the three-point line. Tar Heels did a good job with that. They were able to more or less limit Nate Laszewski, who's been so good against Carolina the last two times. He did have 17 points and 8 rebounds, but it felt kind of quiet. And Tar Heels just relentless throughout the course of the game, and they got contributions from up and down the bench as playing without Pete Nance, able to get some players in who maybe haven't played as much, but they all produced.
And again, a good look there at Armando Bacot, both offensively and defensively. And Adam, it seems like, and Hubert Davis and Coach Davis will talk about this in the interview that I had with him after the game that you'll see in just a second. Adam also talked to Armando, so you'll get that as well. It just seems like after that Virginia Tech game when he was unable to go, he had a difficult game against Indiana the previous contest. He's just taken it to a different level, and Coach Davis will talk, in his opinion, why some of that has happened, but he's really become the consistent force and one of the front runners for ACC Player of the Year early in the season, as we expected he would be.
As we know, Armando Bacot, a smart guy, and he boiled it down to something pretty simple. He said, I'm taking a lot of shots. And when I take a lot of shots, I tend to make a lot of shots. That's pretty much right. And Tar Heels doing a good job running the offense through him, and it's paid off. And he's done a good job running the floor and making himself available. Okay,
so I talked to Coach Davis. Adam talked to Armando Bacot. Let's get to both of those conversations. We'll come back out of that, talk a little bit more about this 17-point win over Notre Dame. Look forward to Virginia as well here on the Carolina Insider.
Back in Chapel Hill, Carolina gets the 17-point win over Notre Dame, 81-64. We're inside the Continental Tire Coach's Corner with Hubert Davis. Coach, just taking a look at the stat sheet after this one, and Coach, a lot of happy stats on there. From start to finish, felt like your team played well this afternoon.
Yeah, I was really happy with the guys. I thought they played extremely well. I was really pleased with them defensively. You know, at the beginning of the game, we had a way that we were going to play them defensively, and it just didn't seem like it was working. They were getting the shots that they wanted, whether they made them or missed them. We just didn't feel like we were in a good way. And so we made a switch, and our guys they were really good defensively. I felt like, going into the game, a key part for us was to win our one-on-one matchups, and I feel like everybody did. And, Notre Dame is such a talented basketball team. They're so gifted in terms of being able to score, whether at the basket and shoot the ball from three. And I thought we did a really good job on both ends defensively.
They came in averaging about 23 or 24 three-pointers attempted per game. They were down to 18 in this game. Felt like that was important for you guys to run them off the line.
It was, and it all started because, this game we did a really good job of guarding the ball. If you do a good job containing and guarding the ball, then there's no need for help. And so it was rare that they blew by us and were able to uncontested be able to get to the rim. I thought we moved our feet well. We defended without fouling, and it put us in position to really defend and take away the three.
Armando Bacot's been good for a long time for you guys. You said yesterday in your press conference you felt after that game against Virginia Tech where he was unable to play that he's been a little bit of a different player. 21-13. What has changed in your mind for him?
He's working harder. He's playing harder. He's really running the floor a lot better. So in transition, he's getting a lot of points, deep post catches in transition. And then in the half court, he's doing his work early. He is working extremely hard, to catch the ball where he wants to, and so that when he catches it there, he's very effective of scoring in there, whether he scores or draws fouls and gets to the free throw line. He's been absolutely fantastic. And another area that he's getting better at, and today I was really proud of him, is us handling the double team. At times that he's really struggled with that, and in practice we've worked on it to get him a little bit more familiar and comfortable with making a pass out of the double team. He did a great job of that today. One example is in the second half, we threw that cross-court pass to RJ. That's something at the beginning of the year I don't think Armando could have done, so he's showing growth in that area as well.
Obviously, you guys aren't better with Pete Nance on the bench, but you've had to adjust without Pete. What have you found out about your team, and what do you like about your team that you've seen without Pete out there?
Well, one, I want Pete back. He's such an unbelievable player, and he continues to get better and better each day, and my hope is on Tuesday versus Virginia, he's ready to go. But it's given us extended minutes for Jalen and extended minutes for Justin McCoy, and they have played so well, and I've been so proud of them that they've earned playing time, and that gives us even more depth. If Armando gets in foul trouble, or Pete and Armando get fatigued or tired, and so that's a good thing. And that we've, because of the injury to Pete, we found some pieces that can come in and be really good for us on both ends of the floor.
Felt like just kind of an old school ACC Saturday. I know it started a little earlier than normal, but a great crowd. I just think you might appreciate that kind of feeling to today's game and the atmosphere in the Smith Center.
Well, I appreciate, the last year and a half that I've been head coach, the crowd has just been absolutely fantastic. It's been such a help and a motivation, energy boost, not only for me, but for our staff and for our players. I mean, it's just great playing in front of our fans, and they've been terrific in terms of their support, and they've been consistent in terms of their support. And so I did want to take time to let them know thank you, and it means something to us, and it helps us. And I really do. I don't think there's anything better than a Saturday afternoon ACC game. There's just something about it. It's just really cool, and it doesn't matter who we play. It just has a big-time feel, and we're really happy and excited that we beat a Notre Dame team that's really good and that we struggled against in the past.
Last thing, Coach, 2 games on the road coming up next week. You guys, at least statistically and record-wise, have been better at home than away from home. How do you carry over some of the things that have happened consistently here away from Chapel Hill?
Yeah, people have, said, attributed that we're, playing better at home as opposed on the road. I don't think us playing on the road has affected us at all. I just think we haven't, for whatever reason, we hadn't played our best on the road. But the encouraging thing is, in these true road games, we're right there. And the next couple days in preparation for an unbelievable, Virginia team is, and I've said this before, is our discipline and our details. Today, I was on them every time out, just telling them how important it is for us, because in those times that you need a stop, need a box out, need a rebound, need a pass, need to get a loose ball, those fundamental plays need to be had, and we've got to start to do those things consistently. And my hope is we do them on the road against Virginia and against Louisville next week.
Couple of road trips coming up, but for the rest of this weekend, Tar Heels will enjoy a home victory over Notre Dame, 81-64, the final. Coach, as always, thank you for your time. Congratulations. Look forward to talking with you soon.
All right, thanks a lot.
Alongside Armando Bacot after a fifth straight 20-point performance. Armando, you just had the chance to look at the box score. When you look at the box score, what do you look at first?
I would say turnovers. Seeing how many times we turned the ball over, then seeing if we out-rebounded the team.
If you had looked at points, you would have seen that for the fifth straight time you had 20-plus, first time in your career. What's been working so well offensively for you?
I've been taking a lot of shots. I think when I take a lot of shots, I make a good amount too, so that's how I've been doing it.
How has the offense been more efficient in making sure that you get those shots, and how have you been getting the position to receive those passes?
Yeah, well, I think I've been working really hard to get the ball where I want it, but also Caleb, RJ, Leaky, Pete, Seth, they've all been doing a good job of just trying to get me the ball and really play through me.
You saw your fair share of double teams tonight, and you'll, of course, see them again on Tuesday. It looked like you handled them really well tonight. What were you trying to do to make sure that you handled those effectively and found some teammates?
I would say post as low as possible, but when I couldn't do that, just being patient and facing up and seeing the whole floor, and then trusting my teammates to make shots to kind of soften up those double teams.
You can, of course, score in a variety of ways, as we've seen over the past few years, but how satisfying is it when you just get to bang with somebody like Campbell, who pretty clearly wants to be very physical and wants to make it a hand-to-hand game in the paint, but then you just get the ball and score right over him?
Yeah, well, I mean, it was a lot of fun just being able to play against a physical guy like that. I mean, I thought he did a good job early on, kind of knocking my rhythm off, because I don't see too many guys like that that's just as strong or stronger than me, so I thought it was a lot of fun and challenging.
Didn't see him for long because he fouled out pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Tar Heels getting some great performances up and down the bench right now. When you have that kind of depth, what does that do for the starters in terms of enabling you to be more efficient?
Yeah, I mean, that's huge because it allows us starters to get more time off the floor, but also allows us to have more energy, too, to play hard, and they come in with a lot of energy, which is very helpful, giving us points and defending, and, I mean, they're all talented, so that's what we need.
Nate Laszewski's been great against Carolina the last 2 times out, and you spent a lot of time on him today. What were you trying to do against him defensively?
Well, trying to limit his three-pointers. He was 1 for 1, so it's good that, I mean, I guess he only made 1 3-pointer on us. But, I mean, I still think he did a solid job, but, I mean, it's better than him just killing us from the three-point line like he's done so long.
Carolina able to switch most everything defensively. What is it about this team defensively that enables you to play it that way, that gives you a little more flexibility?
Yeah, well, I mean, we're an athletic team. I think the guards, they do a good job of holding off the big man, and I think I do a good job of guarding the ball, especially some of the smaller guys, and that's just an advantage to have everybody that's able to switch against a veteran good team like that.
You now have the second most rebounds in Carolina history. What does that mean to you? What does that feel like?
Guess I got to go for number 1.
Well, you've passed everyone except for number 1. I mean, is that something that has been a goal for you? And what does that – I mean, you're a guy who understands the record book. So what does that mean?
Yeah, I mean, it became a goal once I knew I could reach it. I mean, I never would have thought I would be anywhere near it. But I guess last year, once I had all those great rebounding totals, and then coming in this year knowing it was a possibility, I mean, I definitely got to go for it. Why not?
Got to go for it. Only one guy left on the rebounding list today. Carolina gets a win over Notre Dame. Mondo Bacot, another double-double. Mondo, thank you.
So the Tar Heels now 11-5 overall, 3-2 in ACC play. Winners of 6 of their last 7. Be nice to have that last 5 or 6 minutes against Pittsburgh back, but unfortunately Heels can't do that. But what they can do, Adam, is look forward to Virginia Tuesday night, 9 o'clock, and then a road game at Louisville on Saturday afternoon after that. But let's focus on Virginia. It's been a hard place for Carolina to win. Part of it's Virginia's been very good, obviously, the last several years, but Heels haven't won in Charlottesville since 2012. Carolina was successful against the Cavaliers twice last year here in the Smith Center and then in the ACC tournament. Feels like a big test, an important game for Carolina to see if the Tar Heels are really playing as well as they seem to be playing here early in conference play.
And this is a different style of play that Carolina is going to take to Charlottesville than they've taken in a lot of those previous meetings going back to 2012. We don't know the availability of Pete Nance, of course. Something Hubert Davis said with Jones will be important in that game. How will Armando Bacot handle those double teams? Virginia's double teams are going to be a little more physical and a little more tight than what he saw from Notre Dame. And he can pass out of them all day long, but the Tar Heels have to knock down the shots when he does so. So that'll be important on Tuesday night and what feels like kind of a separator type ACC game.
Adam, 2 guys, and this will be our last point here, 2 guys that were important against Notre Dame that are always important for the Tar Heels, R.J. Davis and Caleb Love. Love had really been struggling with his shot. He shot very well in the first half, in particular in this game against Notre Dame. There you see him knocking one in, and he finished with 18 points, was aggressive getting to the rim, not just settling for 3-point shots. And R.J. Davis was so active, it felt like, in all aspects of this game. He finished with 13 points. He had 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals, and just 1 turnover.
Yeah, that was the Tar Heel backcourt that I think everybody expected to see, each of them doing what they're best at doing. That's a move that R.J. Davis has worked a ton on over the summer, freeing himself for that 17-footer. He talked about that with us on the audio podcast a couple weeks ago. Another thing I like from Caleb Love, I liked when he came down and got right in that little dust-up when Cormac Ryan had kind of kicked it. Well, he didn't kind of kick at Puff Johnson. He kicked at Puff Johnson after Puff Johnson dunked on him. And then there were several players involved, first Tar Heel down there was Caleb Love. And sometimes you need some of that edge, and that is what he provides when he's engaged and invested in the game as he was today, because the shots were falling and he felt like he was playing well and he was right there. You need that.
So again, Carolina 11-5 overall, 3-2 in ACC play, heading back-to-back road games. Tar Heels will try and carry some of this quality play that they've had in Chapel Hill away from the Smith Center. Thanks so much for being with us. Happy day in Chapel Hill as Carolina beats Notre Dame here on the Carolina Insider.
Glove's going to get a run out. He hammers it down.
It's live action out there.